for today's video, I wanted to talk to you about shaving because I feel like it's summer. Maybe we went through that winter hibernation stage and didn't shave our legs forever, but I did want to just discuss a couple of things, including a little bit of ingrowns. This is basically how I shave my legs, what I use, what you should use for the best results, or what I would recommend, a little bit on preventing ingrown hairs. But if you guys do want a video on a do-it-yourself ingrown hair treatment, or if you do want a video on ingrown hairs, I think we do have a Talkin Tuesday on it. If you check the bottom tab, I will be sure to link it to you. But we did a video on actual, ingrown hairs and what they are. But I wanted to talk to you about kind of getting the smoothest shave and what can help. And first I'll start off with what I use. Basically it's 3 products. I have a razor that I like to use. This is one with multiple blades, so this actually cuts the hair better, which I'll discuss in a second. I use a shaving cream from Lush. This is the strawberry shaving cream, or I'm sorry, the strawberry shaving soap. And then I also use an Aveda exfoliant to help prevent from ingrown hairs and keep my legs and even underneath my arms looking radiant. So as you guys know, I used to wax, and that's all I really did. I still love waxing, but what was happening is that I was getting ingrown hairs. We've talked about this before, but here's your skin. The hair normally grows out like this. And when we shave it, what do? We're basically cutting right atop the line. So all these little hairs just get cut, but they're still here underneath. Now when you wax, what happens, you're ripping these hairs out. So we have the hairs here, they get ripped out and they have to grow all the way back. That's why waxing lasts longer than shaving. But the only thing with that is that, let's say that you wax so many times, the hair keeps on getting weaker and weaker, and eventually it can't push up through the skin as well. So what happens is that it starts curling up underneath the skin, and there's a big old hair up in there, and so it kind of creates like this pustule bubble that some people confuse with acne. So that is something that I really experienced because my hairs did get very, very weak after years of waxing. And recently I went back to shaving because I was sick of that, and then I got razor burn and I was like, I'm sick of this too, and that's when I started exfoliating and using different products. So first comes first is your razor and your shaving cream. My shaving cream was actually causing my ingrown hairs, which is why I switched to this one from Lush, which is definitely more of a natural alternative. But the other one had a bunch of chemicals. It was like one of those little spray foamy ones that looks like what men use to shave their face. But first off, we will talk about the razor. And the 2 that I use are both from Venus. This is just the brand that I like personally. I have one that goes in my shower that you can actually switch the blades on. And I would recommend, for saving money, these buddies are expensive. I would recommend buying something like this and getting the ones where you can exchange the heads. Otherwise, you're going to have to throw away disposable razors. They work, but not as well. Otherwise it gets very expensive. On the go, I use this little guy. This is kind of the exact same thing, just in a smaller form, and you can switch the heads around too, to make sure that you have something that works for you. But what is the difference between one of these and something that has like a moisture stick versus something that's just like a plain razor? The moisture sticks are much bulkier. You can use those and not need a shaving cream. The only problem is that I find they don't lather as well, and they don't push as well. And for me, sometimes the soap even irritated my skin. Now this does have a small moisture strip to it. Sorry, this is kind of gross. Hope you don't mind. But this does have a small moisture strip to it, but is it enough? Personally, I don't think so. When you shave your legs, you want to make sure that you have a really smooth glide, because that glide is what's going to help you cut the hair and just make it easier. Otherwise, if you're pulling on your skin, it's going to kind of, cause some irritation. It could cause razor burns and bumps. So you want to make sure that your skin is lubricated, but I would recommend using a shaving cream and not just sticking to a moisture strip. In a last minute effort, okay, but in general I would recommend using a shaving cream or a moisture cream, or even just like a shampoo or body wash if it isn't a big deal for you. The other thing is that what's the difference between these and disposable razors? I don't even have disposable razors. I find that they dull very, very quickly after one use. And for me, with my Italian hair up on my legs and up on my bikini line and my armpits, I cannot handle that. I cannot pay that kind of money for a single use razor. These I can probably get quite a few uses out of. It really depends. I do find I get more uses when I use a shaving cream because it helps everything glide better and doesn't like nub the blades down as much. But one key to getting a really close shave is making sure that you have something with a lot of blades. The more blades, the more evenly it's going to cut, because you think about it, if I have one blade and I sweep it across my leg, okay, it'll cut some hairs. But if I have 5 blades all lined up, if the first blade missed it, the second blade or the third blade or the fourth or the fifth blade will get it. So you do get a much more even shave, and it takes a lot of time away. Also, if you have one blade or two blades, you can't really push down a lot. It can actually cut the skin, and it can cause those shaving cuts that we all know and hate. But if you use something like this, because it has 5 blades, when you push down, it kind of works out it kind of has 5 different pressure points on the blades, and so you are able to push down a little bit harder without cutting your skin. Now, still be careful, especially on rough or jagged areas such as the ankles or the kneecaps or the front of your leg. But at the same time, this is what I use. I personally like it, and I would recommend a razor similar depending on your hair type. So next, let's get to talking about shaving cream. As we were discussing earlier, I found that some shaving creams were actually irritating my skin and causing razor bumps. Razor bumps also come from too much shaving. You know, as we know, the hairs come up and we cut them, but if we cut them and, you know, they're here, they start to grow back. If we try to shave over them again, it can cause irritation because it won't cut them off evenly and it's just kind of a nub. And that can be very painful and cause razor burn. Another form of razor burn could be if you don't use a lot of like a lubricant or a lot of moisture, and you're just kind of going at your skin with a razor, especially if it's not one that has a moisture strip. Or especially if it's one that doesn't have a moisture strip, because that can kind of irritate and agitate the skin and pull on the hairs more than it needs to and not cut them evenly. And again, without using a shaving cream, you're just kind of pulling on the skin, you're not getting an even cut, and that can cause issues to the skin as well. And there are other issues such as, you know, the chemicals that you're putting on your skin. My shaving cream used to be getting into my pores and causing a lot of irritation. I'm sure there are other causes as well, such as not exfoliating your legs, because, you know, we have layers that come off in our skin, and if you don't exfoliate those, and again, the hairs can get caught up even if you're not waxing, kind of like we discussed before. But this is what I'm using. This is the Strawberry Shave Soap. Yes. It's Defluff, which is like defluff, and it's definitely something I need to do. But if you guys can see, it's kind of like this moussey texture. This is just the strawberry one. There are others as well, but this is what I like to use. And what you basically do is that you rub this onto your legs and then you glide your razor over. And I really do like this because I can actually see, you know, where it is on my leg and see where I haven't shaved. Because if you just look at your legs, you're like, where have I shaved? Where have I not? If you use something like this and you apply it evenly, you can shave your legs and actually see, okay, I've missed this spot because I still have defluff on it. But what this has in it is water, roseseed oil, coconut oil, golden syrup, glycerin, organic rosehip oil, fair trade, cocoa butter, fresh strawberries, fresh organic, egg whites, maple sugar, fair trade fair trade vanilla, sweet wild orange, absolute sodium. Basically, it's pretty darn natural as compared to other things, and because there are a lot of oils in here, it does help lubricate. Not to mention it does smell delicious, and it has strawberries in here. I don't know, it kind of smells like strawberries. Yeah, It almost smells like watermelon or cherry though. Like those candies that you buy and eat by the dozen, or is that just me? Anyways, but this is something I personally love. I've gone through about a can of this already. Hush your muffins. But this is what I personally use with my razor and what I would recommend because it does help it glide easier, and the easier you glide, the closer you can get, etc. So the very last piece to my kind of routine is exfoliating, and this is from Aveda. This is again an all-natural line. Kind of on an all-natural kick when it comes to shaving my legs recently, I guess. But this is the Radiant Skin Refiner, and it is a very, very, very fine exfoliating cream. And it kind of comes out almost like a clay, but it has like these little sandy particles within it actually get into your skin and help exfoliate it. So I do get a very good and even exfoliation. You could also use your own do-it-yourself salt scrub or do-it-yourself sea scrub or sugar scrub. I would not use a salt scrub because if you are, you know, shaving your legs, if you do get a cut, that salt is gonna burn. But you could make your own oil and honey and sugar scrub if you wanted to, but this is what I personally use. It is all natural. It's that exfoliating nature that helps to break down the top of the skin so that the hairs can come out evenly, don't ball up under there, and just kind of give you a more even shave that lasts longer and looks better and you don't have ingrown hairs. So that is my little 101 tips on shaving, what I personally use. If you guys have other questions about shaving or waxing or anything else, tell me what your questions are. I would be happy to try to answer them, but I hope that this helped you. Tell me what works best for you, and I cannot wait to talk to you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.